Hey there, get a load of my new floating studio. Hey, Mr. Producer, what do you think of the view?
I wouldn't know since you told management there wasn't room for a control booth in the blimp.
Oh, that's right. It's good to be queen.
Can we please get started?
No problemo. On our last journey to Japan, we stopped by the Sony Computer Entertainment Building to check out the new Legend of Dragoon game. Wait till you see the footage we brought back. Then it was off to the green to interview the developers of Hot Shots Golf 2. We'll talk about how they made an already great game even better. Wrestling fans are really gonna love this issue. We hung out with the WWF great D'Lo Brown to get some hot tips on how to smack down your opponent both in the ring and on your PlayStation. Most people think that being a gaming journalist means sitting on your butt all day. Well, we gave some lucky members of the press a chance to get out from behind their word processors and into the paintball arena. Check out the event center to see these guys in action.
Yeah, that was lots of fun. You know you weren't supposed to be aiming at people's heads, right?
Hey, you mess with the bull, you get the horns. Besides, if you didn't stand up every 5 minutes to ask, "Are we done yet?" you wouldn't have gotten shot so much.
Yeah, but I was on your team.
Okay, moving on. As always, we have a fine selection of the hottest game videos in the vault, including Spider-Man, MTV Music Generator, and Syphon Filter 2. So if you didn't get them for Christmas, they're probably on sale somewhere.
Don't forget about Wormhole.
I'm getting to it! For the past 7 issues, you've seen us go behind the scenes of video game development and put together our own game, Project Wormhole. We're finishing off this section by putting the complete demo, including level editor, in the vault. So go check it out! Well, that does it for me. I'll see you all next issue with my footage from PlayStation 2 launch in Japan and my E3 report. Until then, happy gaming!
Welcome to another video on PlayStation Underground. This time we're looking at Volume 4. Released in March 2000, we've finally broken the new millennium, which was a very interesting time for gaming, as developers had plenty of time getting used to 3D engines at this point, and were now ready to take 3D gaming to its next level. So we're going to see how many developers are doing that with this issue, as we come across new game developments, new demos, and new information on the then upcoming PlayStation 2. Here we go. We're going behind the scenes with 2 videos. The first is all about the Legend of Dragoon.
I had the vision of the art style and world that I wanted. I shared it with the artists, and they kept bringing back incredible finished work, even better than I had imagined.
The level of quality of the art was so high, and we fell in love with it.
Syphon, the director, asked us to create a more natural, organic look as opposed to mechanical or technical.
Following that, we have a video about Hot Shots Golf 2.
1998 and Hot Shots Golf 2 this year. Even if you've never touched a club before, you can just jump in and have fun. The pace is fast, the characters are comic, and the load times are history.
We wanted to come up with a video game that felt so good it would inspire people to try real golf who would otherwise never think of playing.
Yet the Hot Shots Golf game engine also lets the serious golfer work with all the game's finer points, such as course conditions, wind, and spin. The balance was just right. Hot Shots Golf was named Sports Game of the Year by 2 magazines, topping all the major sports like football and basketball.
Oh my goodness, that's on the green!
Now the sequel takes that successful game engine and makes golf even more entertaining. The team in Japan explains.
Holy cow, nice shot.
I love golf. I get our whole team to play together. We try to figure out what makes real golf feel so good so we can put it into the video game.
We want you to feel how great it is to hit a tee shot 250 yards and how good it feels to sink a putt.
This time in the Event Center section, we follow the 989 Studios dev team as they get some real-world Spec Ops experience to use as inspiration for Syphon Filter 2.
The biggest names in video game journalism. 989 Studios has pulled them from behind their computers and brought them to a remote ex-CIA training facility in the Arizona desert.
The information that we put out here is real. We have trained over 130 SWAT teams from the United States, Canada, Spain, Taiwan, Kenya, a lot of other places.
For the next few hours, they'll enter the world of Gabriel Logan so that they can bring you more informative reviews of Syphon Filter 2. They've come to a fantasy camp specializing in covert operations and hostage rescue, run by two people who've done the real thing.
What we're going to be doing here this afternoon, we're going to be doing some exercises involving SWAT-type tactics, where you'll be doing some hostage rescue, some barricaded suspect type things.
A hostage has been taken. The rescuers plan a counterattack.
We're going to require 3 entry teams. There will be 3 doors to be hit, so there will be 3 5-man teams or entry teams. The other 2 5-man teams are going to be our reconnaissance element.
Weapons have been distributed. The training is over and now it's into the field. They're going to move in and risk life and limb, or at least serious bruising, to rescue the hostage. And you thought their job was just playing video games. Luckily, they have better aim on the video game screen than they do in real life. Finally, they storm the building and rescue the hostage. Now that your adrenaline is pumping, you can prove that you're a better commando than they are by checking out the Syphon Filter 2 demo in the vault. But give them credit, the next time you think video game journalism is easy, ouch! Think again. Ouch!
Here we are in the download station, where we can find completed saves for various games for your memory card. We've got a save for Medal of Honor with a 100% save, NASCAR Rumble, unlocking a whole bunch of tracks and cars, and several sample songs created with MTV Music Generator, which we'll see later on. Last issue's Tech Q&A revealed a new contest where subscribers submitted ideas for game models they'd like to see made. Well, in this issue's Tech Q&A, we see one submission being turned into a model, to be used later on in the issue. See if you can spot it.
Will shape it for us using 3D modeling software 3D Studio Max. First, he selects the tube tool and creates the inner radius, then the outer radius. Then he selects the outer points of the object and scales them down to create the sharp edge. To make the handle, he uses the line tool to rough out an S shape. Then he smooths it out. He adds depth by beveling the edges. Then he takes that image and cuts the blade shape in half to make a weapon that can separate in two. He'll repeat this to create the other half. He inserts the handles and chooses the texture. Now he uses a graphic file to create a design pattern on the blade. The dark areas become indented and the white portions become raised. The final model renders out. This is how a game developer makes an object for your PlayStation. Watch for this weapon somewhere else in our issue. Is there a 3D robot, weapon, car, or object you'd like to see? Send a drawing or suggestion to this address and we might just use it for a future CG design.
The import section has been moved again. It brings us one demo for Ore no Ryouri. This game puts you in the shoes of a chef who owns a restaurant. You'll be required to prepare orders from your customers, cook the food, pour the drinks, and get the dishes to the customers in a timely manner. Unfortunately, this game kept breaking my emulation program, but that's okay, as despite the game only being released in Japan, it did inspire a fan-made sequel that was released worldwide, and that sequel was called Cook Serve Delicious. Cool Moves makes a return. This is where we'll get all sorts of tips and tricks for many games. First there's a tip for Spyro 2, teaching you how to save Spinner's friend.
Hold down the square button to reach this super speed power-up right here, because the object here is to follow this pathway and through the various doors, and you can't stop or get hit once, because if you do, you lose the super speed power-up and you have to start over again. Go through that portal there, and over this little narrow bridge, and jump at the last second right here, and break down the door, and her friend will be right there for you.
Oh, thank goodness you broke that door down.
Once you save Spinner's friend, you'll get an orb. Now that you've seen it on video, good luck.
Then we're taught a shortcut in CTR's Papoose Pyramid course.
Turbo boost to make it. Once you get the mask, save it for here. Right at the end of the wall, activate your mask and do a 180 turn over to the other side of the track. So there it is.
In Syphon Filter, find out how to reach the cell in level 14.
Level 14, the Stronghold Catacombs. In this level, you have to follow a scientist to the cell where Fagin is being held. And there are a few things you must not do in this level if you're going to complete it successfully. You got to only use your silenced weapons in this level. It's very important to go down the left-hand corridor here. There's a right-hand corridor, but it'll just lead you around in circles. Then you set about following the scientist. One of the most important things about this level is to let the scientist get a good head start on you, because you're going to trigger certain enemies along the path. If you have to take those enemies out, and the scientist can see what's going on, you're going to lose the level, because he'll be alerted to your presence. So as you see here, I'm taking out the guards while the scientist is safely out of sight.
And how to tag viral carriers in level 15.
And then go to where you saw the body, stand on top of the crate, and simply press the triangle button, thereby tagging the body, obtaining a checkpoint, and one of the objectives of the game.
In Twisted Metal 4, discover a secret area in Neon City.
Look for the train tracks and follow it all the way up the tunnel, just like this. Collect the power-ups on the way up. When you get to the top, slow down a little bit, collect the health, and turn around. Look for that little warp point, and just go forward. See this ramp right here? What you want to do is you want to turbo off this ramp into the room on the other side. Now that you're in this hidden room, what you want to do is you want to face this wall right here. Move forward and on top of the helicopter launch pad. Now the helicopter will pick you up, will start taking you to a hidden area. On your way, shoot all the enemies below you. Once the helicopter's dropped you off, move forward into the secret area. Collect all the weapons and power-ups here. When you've gotten all the power-ups, go to the jump pad to exit the secret area.
And finish it off by learning how to take a tricky blind corner in Gran Turismo 2.
What you need to do is approach it towards the right-hand side, or more the outside lane. You'll slow down, shift it to a lower gear, and drop down, and you can cut a little bit without being penalized for taking that turn. So give it a shot.
In the debriefing section, we chat with D'Lo Brown, as well as the developers of WWF SmackDown.
You're thinking about what you have to do tonight, but also you're thinking, I don't want to mess up, I don't want to fall on my face when I walk out the ramp, and then I want to make sure I go out there and entertain every one of them.
I think wrestling is very entertaining. It's an outlet. It's drama for male, you know, like a soap opera for males.
There's not a more natural high in the world than hear your music hit. You can hear their screams and applause in your body. You can feel it inside of you. Not just mentally feel it, but physically feel it bouncing off your chest and bouncing off you. And when you're walking down, you're looking at each, you know, you can almost make contact with each one of them eye to eye.
What we're trying to deliver with SmackDown is the ultimate gaming experience in sports entertainment.
It's very fast moving as compared to other games where it's very slow. The graphics are really cool. That looks real. See, the moves are very realistic looking.
One thing that sets our game apart from the other competition is our gameplay and our button commands. We don't want to have to push 20 buttons to get a move off. We want a beginner to be able to pick up the game and get into the game and pull off moves, but at the same time we want the more experienced player to be able to master the reversals and master the game itself.
When you're out there in the ring, it's not as easy as it looks. For example, probably the hardest one is Steve Austin's stunner because it comes from 14 different directions. I mean, you could be on the offense and all of a sudden, boot to the gut, there it is. Probably the most embarrassing, people's elbow, because you're just laying there forever, and then all of a sudden this elbow comes out of nowhere. And well, Kane, Big Boss Man, and Taker all use a choke slam, and that's just a big pan wrapped around your throat. The name definitely describes the move. So these are some of the moves you watch out for, and just as scared as hell to take.
Over in the PlayStation Unveiled section, we got footage of Gran Turismo 3, back when they referred to it as Gran Turismo 2000.
I have a vision of Gran Turismo's network racing. It's much bigger than one-to-one, but I can't go into specifics yet. One thing a network could do is let racers share times and establish rankings. This is a very important part of racing games. But in addition, a network could let them share communication on how to take certain corners or courses. That is very important to me as well.
Gran Turismo is fulfilling a love for cars that Yamauchi-san has had ever since he was a boy. Now in developing the series, he gets to travel the world and test its greatest cars on its most famous tracks. But he's made a discovery.
Playing the video game has improved my real race driving versus the other way around. Just 2 days ago, I was on the circuit at Motegi in Japan, and I realized that my performance had improved drastically because I played Gran Turismo 2.
You better keep sharpening your own racing skills, because when you drive Gran Turismo 2000 on the PlayStation 2, it's a whole new level of power and intensity. Do you have the reflexes to cut it?
We also have footage of a bunch of other PS2 games in development.
30, everything's way more intense. In Street Fighter AX3, for example, you can even fight 2-on-2.
PlayStation 2's extra processing power lets you start with one character's combo, then switch to another's. 4 characters can be in on the same fight.
Another difference is that more detail can go into the graphics, as in these scenes from Onimusha. Are you watching real baseball on TV, or is this the new game from Square?
When you look at a title, sometimes you take a double take and you say, wait, is that the FMV section or is that the game? There's actually a really, really close comparison in quality between the two.
In Kessen, a real-time strategy game, you can move hundreds of soldiers at once, but each of them will think and act individually, creating lots of realism. RPGs like Dark Cloud can be fully 3D, and you can explore with 360 degrees of freedom. Everything in Ridge Racer 5 looks more realistic, including the walls you're almost crashing into at 200 miles per hour. Backgrounds in Tekken Tag Tournament are now full of action and new detail. The sky fills with fireworks in Fantavision, a new action puzzle game.
You can set up hundreds of explosions at a time, and the PlayStation 2 calculates and displays them in real time. We could not have done this before.
When you're being hunted down for lunch in Extermination, all the new detail makes it easier to get that tingly feeling at the base of your spine. And the new console's larger memory opens up huge new worlds, as in this new Border Cross game.
You're racing head-to-head against 7 other players that you couldn't have done before the PlayStation 2. Basically, anything you see that looks like snow, you can go there.
And we top off disc 1 with the Bulletin. We'll find all sorts of miscellaneous info here, such as PlayStation Online, merchandise, all the secret codes from the previous issue, player comments, what's coming next, and more. Now let's move on to disc 2, but before we do, if you'd like to support this channel even more, you can become a member. For as little as $1 a month, you'll get your name in these videos, as well as other benefits, such as early access to new videos, an exclusive channel in the Discord, downloadable wallpapers for your devices based on many of the demo discs I've covered, the ability to dictate what video I should make next, and even access to the ROMs for these demo discs so you can play them yourself. If you want in on any of that, just click the link in the description, or click any of the join buttons you'll find on my videos or channel homepage. Right, we've got some demos to play.
Sir Daniel Fortescue, back from the dead once again. The great hero of Gallowmere reduced to a dusty relic at the back of the old museum. Well, things have changed since you've been away. It's a new world, but with the same old problems. So find yourself a weapon and get ready for a scrap. Oh, and if you see my spectral trail, stand in the light and press action to summon me.
Sir Dan Fortescue comes back from the dead again, in the demo for MediEvil 2. Taking place 500 years after the original, MediEvil 2 takes place in Victorian London, where Dan is brought back to life to stop yet another evil sorcerer from terrorizing the city with his army of undead. Dan can get his hands on new weapons including a pistol, blunderbuss, and even a Gatling gun. Dan is helped by a ghost called Winston, and finds shady merchants called spivs. Yes, they're really called that. Reviewers enjoyed the game, praising the better graphics but criticizing the largely unchanged gameplay. Overall though, the game received good scores. The demo has you try out the first level.
As well as an inventory, you've got 2 weapon slots. Select your weapon, then use the stick or directional buttons to select the slot it should go in. Once both slots are full, L1 plus square switches weapons without going back to your inventory. Should make killing things much more fun. This crafty scoundrel is the Spiv. He'll provide you with nearly everything you'll ever need at a hefty price. Press action to select him.
The first demo is for Hot Shots Golf 2, or Everybody's Golf 2 in Europe. The sequel to the popular golf game, this new game brings new additions but keeps the cartoon style. With 6 modes of play and 7 golf courses to play on, you collect better and better items to improve your game, as well as unlock new characters to play as. The demo gives you a choice of 2 characters on a timed 3-hole course. Now it's time for Speed Punks. This Mario Kart clone for the PlayStation has you play as one of several characters as they drive around on wheels? Where's the cart? There's no actual carts, just tires and a steering wheel. But apparently that works, so whatever. There's the usual kart gameplay, wacky characters, power sliding, boosts, and of course items and weapons. Despite all that, Speed Punks turned out to be another forgettable game. Why is that? Well, because it was completely overshadowed by a little game called Crash Team Racing. Next we have the demo for Ace Combat 3. A step up from its sequel, core gameplay is the same, aerial dogfighting and fighter jets. In fact, there's 23 different aircraft the game offers, including one mission where you fly a spacecraft. The game supports using the analog sticks, which makes flying easier. Something interesting about this game is the Japanese version has significantly more gameplay than the international versions, including branching paths and multiple endings. The demo gives you a timed mission to try.
Warning. Warning. Missile alert. Warning. Missile alert. Missile alert.
If you wanted more dirt bikes in your life, check out this demo for SuperCross Circuit. Officially licensed, so you have access to real pros and real bikes. This racing simulation puts you in one of 21 tracks for a race, with opportunities to pull off big air and do some tricks. And just in case 21 wasn't enough tracks, the game also includes a track editor, allowing you to design your own. Personally, when I tried playing this for the video, I found the controls to be a bit stiff, and it's too easy to fail a trick. Of course, I could just be bad at this. The demo gives you a single race. Well, Twisted Metal returns yet again with another sequel. Calypso is now gone, having been overthrown by Sweet Tooth, who takes over Calypso's role, hosting a new tournament with the prize being a single wish for anything. Gameplay is largely the same, a vehicular destruction derby taking place in varied arenas. Plenty of weapons and power-ups can be found scattered about, to be picked up by the competitors for their advantage. Reviews at release were okay, with many critics considering the game an improvement over the previous game in the series. The demo put you in the Neon City level, a chance to use that tip we learned earlier in the Cool Moves section.
we're set to tip things off.
Hey, we finally got a basketball demo for NCAA Final Four 2000. NCAA referring to college basketball. And looking at how this game compares to other basketball games available for the console, well, this game did okay. Meaning this game is just kind of there.
Ball on the side of the court. From deep! Didn't need any help from the rim. Hammers it home.
Make tunes that are banging and wicked with the demo for MTV Music Generator. This is a simple to use music creation tool for your PlayStation. Assemble a music video using various pre-made riffs from a huge music library. There's even a multiplayer mode where up to 4 players manage beats, rhythms and melodies to form a complete song. This is a brilliant little music creation tool and is great for making retro sounding songs. Fun fact, this game is actually a sequel. In Europe, this game is known as Music 2000, while the game before it was simply known as Music. And it was with Music that I created the short tune I use for my video's intro. Sadly, Music did not get released in North America, so MTV Music Generator came with most of the riffs from that game. The demo gives you a handful of riffs from the house genre to use for a 30-second song, which you can then save to your memory card, so you can use it in the full game.
Let me take you back again. 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 Oh yeah. Drop the bass.
For those of you who can't get enough explosions, here's a demo for Silent Bomber. Take control of Utah as he is tasked with blowing up the facilities of the space dreadnought Dante. Your only weapons are bombs. Place them down manually or chuck them at enemies by locking onto them. Find new types of bombs and earn upgraded bombs by finding special Egypt collectibles scattered throughout the levels. Reviews are positive, with many critics enjoying the game's challenging difficulty and interesting approach to gameplay. The demo gives you the tutorial to play through.
Between you and the bombs. There. That'll do it. Fix the enemy on your sight and lock on. You've just planted a bomb on the enemy. Hit the detonator button. Well done. Pick up the material dropped by the enemy. What you have there is a highly volatile liquid. Using this in conjunction with your bombs will result in more powerful and deadly explosions. All right, go on ahead. We've detected another enemy group. It's a large one this time.
Understood.
Just another day in the life of your friendly neighborhood spy.
Hey, Spider!
Hey, Black Cat, what's going on?
I know there's been some trouble, but the bank's being robbed and they've got hostages. Use your Spidey compass and get to the bank quickly.
Thanks, Cat.
From the developers of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater comes the demo for Spider-Man. And they did a good job because this is a solid Spider-Man game. An imposter Spider-Man is running loose, causing trouble for the real Spider-Man, including attracting the unwanted attention of Venom. As Spider-Man, players must team up with Black Cat and find a way to prove his innocence. You'll come across many other Marvel heroes along the way, including Daredevil, Punisher, and Captain America. You have access to all of Spider-Man's abilities, including his web-slinging, spider senses, and wall crawling. Reviews were positive, with many critics considering it the best Spider-Man game at the time. It was also agreed that the PlayStation version was the best version, the N64 and Dreamcast versions also being pretty good, but the PC version being a shoddy port of the Dreamcast version. The demo gives you the first level to try.
Hey! Hey!
Whoa, police choppers.
Hey!
Wrestling fans finally get a decent game, WWF SmackDown. Take to the ring with all the popular WWE wrestlers at the time, in the predecessor to 2K Sports' long-running series. The game itself includes many match types, such as single, tag team, hardcore, steel cage, and even backstage, spread out across a story mode where players create their own wrestler and advance them through the season modes. Review scores were favourable at the time, even becoming a bestseller in the UK and making it to Platinum. The demo lets you choose from 4 wrestlers for a singles match. Next is a preview for Front Mission 3.
Gabe, are you there?
Leon, you okay? It's about time you checked in.
I've been better. My adrenaline shot is wearing off, but I've got enough strength to come and get you.
All right. I'm almost at the crash site now. Once we have those data disks, we can bargain with the agency for your vaccine.
I'm on the way.
Now for the cover demo, Syphon Filter 2. With gameplay identical to its predecessor, the game's story continues merely hours after the previous game. Gabriel Logan is considered an enemy of the state and is labeled as a terrorist after discovering the agency he was working for was far more nefarious than he originally was led to believe. A new feature the full game includes is the multiplayer mode, allowing players to play in a competitive setting. Reviews at release were positive. Critics enjoyed the multiplayer, but mentioned that the voice acting was awful and the story was on the convoluted side. Other than that, the game was overall considered entertaining. Okay, so you might have noticed some strange numbers pop up every once in a while in this issue. Those are part of a code, which you input here for a special secret. What could it be? Well, guess you'll have to wait for another time. For now, let's move on. Have you been keeping up with Project Wormhole, the ongoing series to show every stage of game design? Started back on Volume 2's Issue 2, here is the end result, the full final demo for Wormhole. The game itself is pretty simplistic. You fly a spaceship down a tunnel filled with obstacles and enemies. What makes the game special is so much of it was influenced by PlayStation Underground subscribers sending in their suggestions. So now the final demo has several levels to try, as well as a level editor for you to create your own levels and save them to memory card. That is everything to be found on the first issue of Volume 4. Okay, maybe not everything, there's still more secrets to be found, but that's for another time. In any case, this issue easily kept players busy for hours. If you still want more PlayStation Underground nostalgia, or any classic PlayStation nostalgia for that matter, subscribe and check out my channel. I've got tons of PlayStation demo videos to keep you entertained for ages. I've also got a Discord for those of you who want to chat with other PlayStation enthusiasts. You'll find a link in the description. You'll also find a link for joining the channel as a member, if you want to support this channel even more. You'll get your name in these videos, as well as plenty of other benefits too. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm the Advocate, and I absolutely loved that music game as a kid.